Hello, my name is Pascal Achunine. I am the Executive Director of Health Emergency Initiative and by God's grace, the founder. I have a postgraduate degree in business administration from Federal University of Technology, and prior to then, I studied public administration in Abia State University. And I have been in the financial services sector for the last 2.5 decades. But I'm here to talk about making a difference, the HEI story. And it has been my desire over time to make a little difference. And maybe in the space where I operate, I have also had a couple of opportunities that makes me to feel that I am insulated from the problems of the society. But it's only for a while because it could turn around negatively. So I'm here to share with us the HEI experience that sometime in 2008, I had occasion to go to a public hospital after a very sweet testimonial that my wife had a baby girl safely, and I felt, okay, let me go to a public hospital where someone had given birth and had a mother and child had not been allowed to go home on account of not paying their bills, and it happened to be an island maternity. I had the contact communication with the MD, medical director, and the little I brought, they were touched, and they said they could give right off the balance of the bill. Health Emergency Initiative came as a result of that experience, and there was this burning desire. If you could make a difference in the life of that single person, why not stretch it further? And someday I just sat, and the inspiration came to write down the aims and objectives. And I used an old diary, wrote it down. The diary is still there in the archives today. And that was put down sometime in May 2008. But I was running away from bringing it to the public domain because I had been involved in charity. My wife and I embarked on food kitchen in Makoko area. We're in Bariga area, so in the last, for several years, we've been going to support people, widows, with food stuff, encourage them, share the word of God with them, pray with them. But I felt that could suffice, especially I have my own family and all that things, but the desire remained there. That inspiration kept coming until 2015, October 24th, to be specific. HEI started by writing those aims and objectives we are shared with like-minded friends, and eventually at 113A Mainland Way, one of us, Mrs. Okolo, offered her place, a guest house that had sitting capacity of 60 people for us to do the first meeting, and then the journey began. From there, doing it pro bono among us, going to hospitals. The hospitals were originally hesitant. Eventually, they saw consistency and credibility in the way we were engaging without giving a picture that we are hostile or exposing the gaps, and they opened their doors. And then gradually we started setting up structures, had a one-man team, and eventually we have a functional team. So that is the takeoff point of Health Emergency Initiative. And today we have gone beyond impacting the lives of indigent people in those hospitals. We have expanded to bringing other stakeholders. Okay, the focal areas of HEI are providing succor to indigent patients in public hospitals, especially such services that would have been rendered at primary health care level for common diseases like malaria, typhoid, diarrhea, pneumonia that afflict the very poor. That most times we think those diseases do not take lives, but sadly they start small and eventually get uncontrollable and take lives. So where people die because of 20,000 naira cases and below, from blood transfusion to drip, as they use the common language drip, to basic common infections. We have been, and then of course sepsis and malnutrition. If you check our records, that constitutes the largest number of beneficiaries. That is on medical intervention, but also we have expanded in the last 2.5 years, nearly 3 years now, having involved Federal Road Safety Commission, FRSC, and LASAMBOS, Lagos State Ambulance Service, LASEMA, and other emergency agencies. So we had put in place an MOU signed by these stakeholders, ensuring that in the event accident happens, inevitably accident happens, and there is no post-crash, no functional post-crash care that addresses the needs of citizens when this happens. So what we have done is sign a MOU with these agencies and stakeholders in such that when accidents happen and the victims are taken to 11 recognized hospitals, those that have capacity to handle this, we're able to provide that initial 20,000 to stand as next of kin for those victims until their relations or the organizations or their companies or their churches are contacted. So that way more lives are saved. And as you are aware, there have been this publication by WHO that accident is the biggest killer of young people.
My name is Hyginus Omeje. I'm the sector commander for Federal Road Safety Corps Lagos. Well, I got to know HEI through Mr. Patrick and Pascal, and I think I was just in the office one day and he came in and was explaining the whole concept of the HEI to me, and it was all about meeting the needs of indigent patients and people that really fall within that line, mostly as it relates to our job when we carry crash victims to hospitals and you discover that nobody to, take care of the victim hereafter. And some of them will get treated and cannot even leave the hospital because nobody has paid their bills and things like that. And I saw the passion in him in ensuring that this category of people do not really suffer to death or suffer the kind of hardship they are going through because of little funds, as little as 10,000, somebody will be in the hospital. And we've had cases where even some hospital will tell you they're not going to touch the patient until even somebody buys card and do all those things. And I saw what the concept of HEI is in terms of coming as a bridging gap in all this. And also we go to some general hospitals or even community health centers where for prescriptions of 1,115, the woman cannot afford it and the child is dying of malaria treatment, of malaria, and they can't even afford bills as little as under 5,000 naira. So, but the one that caught my attention most is actually how it relates to crash victims that we do drop in the hospitals. And I got interested, and I think I said, okay. Personally, I even enrolled myself as a member of the HEI family so that I can also contribute my own quota. And subsequently, we came up with a memorandum of understanding of how FRSC and HEI can actually work together on a project we call non-shooter. We have leveraged on that relationship to gain some mileage. On their parts, when they started training volunteers, our personnel, as first responders, some of our personnel have benefited from that training, and we have joined them in the awareness campaign of also raising the awareness of what the NGO really stands for, with a view to wooing others to really voluntarily join and see how we can all meet the needs of indigent patients within Lagos State, and ensure that for minor cases, people don't lose their life where it ought not to. Some of us have so much that we even go abroad for any little headache, but we have people here who cannot afford to even pay general hospital bills for malaria, ordinary malaria. We have crash victims that at times I have had cause to pay for card before they could attend to the person, and also the person is in a hospital. Hospital is saying as somebody deposits 5,000 they cannot treat, so nobody to do anything, because so we have collaborated in raising that awareness so that more people can really join this initiative and ensure that together we save lives, of crash victims and of course non-crash victims who for financial incapacitation, we should not allow them to suffer to death. And I am happy with what they have been doing in recent time. I was not able to join in the last awareness walk they did because I was not around, but then again I've been also tracking their activities in recent times to be sure that we are still on track, and I think they are still on track. I think I should use this opportunity to appeal to any good-spirited Nigerians. This is, I know what the issues are here. Most NGOs we've had in this country, everybody is focusing on HIV and AIDS, where the international donors are bringing in money. Well, this is something I see local content in it. We should be able to have an NGO like this that is addressing what is real to us. And to me here, what is real is, look, crashes are occurring daily. People go to hospitals, they cannot even buy card. In the first case, one pathetic case about crash victims is that you cannot get to know the relatives. Then, at times some people will stay for how many days you have not been able to know where they are from, where they are going. So I want to appeal to Nigerians and Lagosians in particular for us to, as God has given us the grace, we should really identify with what HEI is doing. There are a lot of indigent patients there who need help. And I think everything God has given us is not just for us. It's for us to use it to serve Him. And to serve Him is the people you see. God you can see. But the scripture made us to see that whatever you have done to the least of these ones, He said you have done it unto me. So I think it's one area that I really want people to look at. Each time I'm watching AIT News, you see they put somebody, heart surgery, kidney this. I want to see a situation if we can all grow in HEI such that such is, and you look at it, you say, the person needs 2 million naira, the person needs 6 million naira. There are people that spend 2 million naira in clubs in Lagos State. So I think these are areas we should all join hands in this service to humanity so that we can all save lives. Nobody is going to carry anything out of this world. Everything we have is going to end here. So I think we should use what God has given us to serve humanity and to serve God. So I encourage you out there listening to me, if you are moved, please join HEI. I joined, and I'm working with them too as the sector commander Lagos, as my organization in road safety in Lagos. They are my stakeholders, and together I know we can all make a difference.
My name is Gift Julius. I'm from Abia State. I live at Elijah Street, number 5, White House Street. Well, it all happened on the 15th of July. Well, I was not at home. My kids and their dad was at home. Me, I was at work. So around 5, I had a call that my house is on fire. So I had to call the dad. I asked the dad, where are you? And they said our house is on fire. They said I want to get something at the bus stop. So I told him I should go back, that somebody called and said the house is on fire. So for him getting there, the house, my children was inside, the house was burned, the children too. So my mom, I don't know how come, because me, I was still at work. So my mom and my husband are the one that took them to Doreen Hospital. Then they now referred them to Lutz. So me, I was at home. I've already gotten home, but I could not make it because it was late at night. And my mom called me that I should go back, that there is hold up, I will not make it, that I should go to my own parents' place to go and stay for that night. Then in the morning I can start coming over. So on their way going, I've been calling. So when they get to Lutz, I lost the third one. So the remaining 3 of them were receiving treatment along the line due to money, because they said the little one had to go for ICU, which we are supposed to pay 250, and we don't have it that very moment. So we tried calling if we are going to get the cheaper one outside, but we were not able to get cheaper one outside. So they gave them oxygen, stuff like that, but it didn't work very well. I lost the 3 of them in the process. So testimony was the one that we've been fighting to keep alive. Then some ladies came in, 2 ladies. They said they're from social worker, whatever. So they're the one that came, asked some questions. So we told them everything. Then the next day on the 16th, that is when HEI people, Mr. Roland, came in. So from there, he took some responsibility from there, started helping us in buying drugs and everything. Then they said we have to take the one that is testimony to Children's Ward. That is how we're able to move testimony to Children's Ward. HEI people has been helping throughout the treatment over there. Then thank God, testimony is, I would say, is well, is strong, but the pain and injury are still on his body, which you can see him. This is testimony, Julius. This is the face. Then, well, this is it, but I can't show the handle. The leg, there are still some part that we are still treating on. He was admitted in the hospital for a good 3 months. But so far so good. He's doing well, he's okay, and we've been discharged. We are at home now. We've been discharged. That is on the 24th. So we've been discharged. We are home, and he's doing well. I just want to say thank you to HEI people for their support, for everything they did for me and my son. HEI was the one that took over the bills, paid everything for us, assisted us. We are really, really grateful for what they did to us. Just want to say thank you and God bless you all.
What do we do in HEI? Are you aware that most of the activities that happen in the not-for-profit space are essentially advocacy driven? HEI stands out as an organization that take real action, and those actions can be situated in the following areas. Number one is medical relief. There's a report, we can verify that over 96 million Nigerians currently live in extreme poverty. So at the time we began, if the best was that Nigeria didn't have a better record, more than 70 million we are living in extreme poverty, and it has implication for in their lives. We are aware also there are many gaps in the primary health care system, that issues of malaria, typhoid, and other common diseases are taken to tertiary health institutions. So that gap has resulted in lives being lost to cases of 20,000, 10,000, 5,000 as the case may be. So we moved, and over time we started relating with the social workers, because the social workers are the ones that advocate for indigent patients. So they bring records of those cases. At the beginning, most of them were hesitant because they didn't want to let out information. But when they saw that we are credible, we are consistent, so we were the ones the organization they would always reach out to. So what have we done? If you look at our records, the statistics shows that one of the children's hospital in Lagos has the highest number of beneficiaries. Sepsis, malnutrition, malaria, typhoid, and other common diseases, including cholera. So this and diarrhea, these are cases that sometimes a child is dying because of 3,000 naira, and HEI recognize that rather than be indifferent, yes, we may not do those cases of 3 million of cancer, diabetes, that may not even be extinguished with the 3 million. It may require going to India. But we recognize that our cases are end-to-end. So we start a case with 10,000 naira. We know that 10,000 naira will ensure that that family, that child, that man or woman goes on. A case requires blood transfusion, oxygen, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. Our intervention ensures that that case, a good result, a conclusive result comes out of it. So the outcome is, each of our analysis you see, outcome, the patient was successfully treated and taken home. So cases that are referred to us, the success rate is over 80 to 90% because we understand where that pain is and we work with. So that is as it relates to medical relief.
Okay, we as an organization, Health Emergency Initiative, we are meant to visit hospitals, assist vulnerable patients, indigent patients, those who cannot access medical health care, proper medical health care, in terms of providing for drugs and blood transfusions. We cannot do it alone, so we partner with government hospitals like the social workers and the medical directors, because they know more about they have more information about the patient. So because this is how we get our interventions, our details of patients. The doctors send details to the social workers that some patient cannot access, just like the case we have from one of our beneficiaries, that they cannot get these drugs for operation. So the social worker now call on Health Emergency Initiative for intervention. This is how we do operate, because we are trying to build accountability and transparency. So we don't want to do a process whereby we facilitate and we end it all. So by partnering with government hospitals and social workers, we're able to do such. And apart from that, for the past 3 years, we have been able to assist a lot of patients. You know, sometimes you look at some patients and you believe, oh, they have it all to take care of themselves. But once you go deep into their cases, you realize that they cannot, or they might have exhausted a lot of their finances, their money, and just they need some other assistance. And where would they get this assistance for? Yes, government are trying their best, but also due to what is happening in our society, maybe an email that will cost 50 or 60,000 naira, and the patient could only afford maybe 10 or 5,000 naira. So where would they get the others from? So that is where Health Emergency Initiative come on board to assist, because we don't want a situation whereby a patient will be neglected because he or she cannot afford a drugs worth 5 or 10,000 naira, or a surgical operation that at least, at most, 30 or 40,000 can cover. So this is what HEI is trying to cover up on.
My name is Esther Obiora. Doing business, selling indomie, selling food, rice, jollof rice and egg and yam. My pikin, they play for street, they play ball. They come fall for that. Come, they cook for kitchen. Come with mommy, my leg. What? What's it do for leg? I wound though. I stay wound the wound. Same for inside gutter. I look the leg start to bleed. I can't go hospital. They treat the leg, they stitch the leg. Suddenly, they go church that morning. Come shout my chest, mommy, my chest. Everything is for chest. As soon as they go church, we reach church, they pray for her. As we reach church, they pray for her. We reach house again. Yeah, Joe can't go bath. As that one go church, you go pour that for body. You go pour that for body. You single play again. After you pour that for body finish, single play again. As you go play, night we should enter house and sleep. As you sleep that night, for morning, I wake up, my school don't close. Now I wake up and say, Joe, yeah, not before for lesson. The school don't close. I no go lesson. I wake up, me no go stand up. The other junior brother they don't stand up. He no go stand up. He sit down for bed. You know that stand up now. No fit stand. I say I carry am. Me no fit stand. So they jerk. Start to the stretch. I say, Joe, wait till me this one stand up. You no fit talk. You no fit talk anything. Sef. You just they look me. I say, wait till happen waka. You no fit waka. I say they fall down. I call my neighbor there. I never see this kind thing. No, I say na convulsion. I get convulsion medicine. I use and they go back. I don't see any improvement. It seems in the worst. I say, my neighbor on the Facebook say, this one tetanus, this one be ordinary. I say, I'm tetanus again. Oh yeah, can't they go general hospital. So I take for bike, reach general hospital. We reach there, we go Lagos Island. I say, I don't fit go Lagos Island. Say that stress is too much on me. So one of the doctors there can say, okay, make them go look what that space there for upstairs. As we reach upstairs, space there, because I collect emergency card before they go answer me. I collect emergency card. So they answer me. From there, I started to buy drugs. They buy small. That was our money reach to buy. By that money no reach, go hold our break. So from the brother you now introduced me to HEI. So then I come, they look the boy. Boy, this thing is serious. Is they serious like I say? But when they ask me question, mommy, how manage this boy take wound? How manage? I say, I don't understand. I don't fit on a long story. They say, this thing is too much. I say, okay. I don't get much money to buy drugs. I dey broke. Even food to eat, safe, nothing. So I say, okay, they will help me for some item. Then I carry me to pharmacy. We go pharmacy. They say, oh yeah, the medicine. How much? They clear the receipt. They can't go there. They buy. They pay 12,000 plus. The money they go down before 4,000. They clear the bill for me. So I really appreciate them. They tried a lot. God will continue to bless them. The boy there with me. I want to show the leg. Thank God, see the leg don't go. Like to say, Jonathan. And the leg be this, so I want to say the leg don't go, now be this. Thank you to HEI. God bless you people for me in Jesus' name.
We have expanded some of the other things we do to first responders. So what I just spoke about accident, but there's much more that especially a place like Lagos and other locations, even on the highway, the emergency agencies may not be on ground. So you may be a driver, you may be a vulcanizer, you may be a company executive or anyone, but you see an accident situation, you see an emergency situation, whether it's at home or on the road, you have the skill set to provide CPR, first aid, and other skills required to stabilize and resuscitate such a person until they are moved to the hospitals. The essence is to take away this culture. We want to drive a cultural change, behavioral change, such that those cases where we are taking pictures, or you see people taking pictures and videos in accident situations or emergency situations, that, and of course everybody is hurrying to post it on social media. If you have the skill set, and that is what HEI is doing, that narrative will change, will save more lives. And it will be instituted as a national culture and practice for us, that when there are emergencies, people know what to do as opposed to taking pictures and videos. That's part of also what we do.
Okay, so talking about the first responders training, the reason why we came up with the first responders training is because we want to change the narrative of people who are at the scene of an accident, instead of just taking pictures, you know, and posting on social media, which by itself is not a bad thing, because sometimes, you know, emergency organizations pick it up on social media and respond. But we want a situation where at the scene of that emergency, between when the accident or whatever emergency happens, between say 1 to 5 minutes, there is someone there at the scene of the accident responding to that emergency. That is why we came up with the first responders training. Now, what does it entail? It entails people being taught how to administer first aid at the scene of an emergency, how to administer CPR, and not just for accidents alone. You have a situation where maybe you're at the pool with the kids, or, you know, by yourself, and someone is drowning. You know what to do. Or in cases of people who have asthma attacks, you also know what to do. Or in cases of a fire incident, you also know what to do. Now, aside from that, we also inculcated what is called the crowd control. The reason for the crowd control is because aside from administering your first aid, you also want to be able to make people stay away from the victim or victims at the scene of an emergency. Because when you have a lot of people at that scene, you might not be able to know what to do at the moment or at the exact time. So we are adding that crowd control to it, such that when you get to the scene, the first thing you want to do is to be able to know what to do with the crowd gathering at that scene. So once you do that, you can then administer your first aid, CPR, as the case may be. Now, at the end of the training, you'll be certified by the American Heart Association. That certification lasts you for 2 years. And we expect that after that you recertify after 2 years. And the process of the training is actually very rigorous. There is nobody that will take that training and come back the same. You want to save lives. You will always want to save life. In fact, it will be as if you expect an accident to be somewhere so that you help save the life of the, you know, victims. Because the other day before I got my certification, it was a rainy day, the rain was very heavy that day, and I was on Ikorodu Road. There was an accident. I'm like, oh gosh, I wish I had my certificate, because I didn't want a situation where maybe I'm trying to help save this person's life and then police comes up and say, oh, you have killed this person. Maybe at the time I got there, the person was already dead. I was just trying to help. So because I didn't have my ID card at that time, I didn't bother, because it hurt me. Because I knew that I could help, but because I didn't have my ID card, I don't want any situation where, because we don't have good Samaritan laws in Nigeria. If we had good Samaritan laws in Nigeria, it would have been another, it would have been easier. But I didn't have my ID card, so I moved on. And there's been a lot of cases like that where people see emergencies and they just walk away. They want to help, but they can't. Because first of all, maybe they are not certified, or yes, they are certified, but they are scared that they'll be harassed by the police. And that is the reason why Nigerian police is part of the stakeholders we have involved in this first responders training, so that they are aware that there are people being trained by Health Emergency Initiative to be certified first responders. So when incidents happens like that and they show their ID card, they are aware that these people are trained by the Health Emergency Initiative. At the end of the day, what we want to achieve is that more lives are saved, and our project None Should Die, that covers for vulnerable people, accident victims, will reduce, because we have a lot of cases of None Should Die. It's better to do a preventive course than to do more curative, because what we do with None Should Die is more curative than preventive. So now we want to change the narrative from curative to preventive. That way we are able to save money, we save more lives, we empower a lot of people, because after the training you can actually go a step further and become a paramedic. And we work hand in hand with the FRSC, the LASAMBOS, LASEMA, Ministry of Health, Lagos State Ministry of Health, and most of all the general hospitals in Lagos. So please, if you are interested in becoming a lifesaver, join HEI today and let's save lives together. Thank you.
None should die is a slogan invented by HEI and other stakeholders, including Federal Road Safety Commission. It came as a result of when Federal Road Safety Commission and LASAMBOS and LASEMA and some of the emergency agencies had that health emergency initiative has been supporting indigent patients and has a credible structure that ensures consistent intervention whenever we are called upon. They reached out to us and we had a meeting, signed a MOU including National Orthopedic Igbobi, a MOU including FMC Butemeta, a MOU required with all the agencies, and even up to the point that Lagos State Ministry of Health wrote to their hospitals, courtesy of this none should die, that they should work with Health Emergency Initiative and send monthly report to the permanent secretary. That's how structured, that's how effective it has been. And what does none should die speak about? When an accident happens, as opposed to the old system where the victims are picked by these emergency agencies and they get to some of the hospitals and they say there is no bed space or they are hesitant to attend to them because, of course, they have limited resources. So they need to, who will fund it? Relations are not there. The organization that the person works with is not, those organizations are not there. So what has happened is that, courtesy of the MOU, within 24 hours, any of the victims taken to those hospitals will be stabilized and resuscitated. Again, the language is stabilize and resuscitate because accident there's what is called the golden hour rule in accident situations. When an accident happens, in the first 5 hours, in the first 10 hours, if help does not come, there is 80% chances of the victim dying. So what HEI does is to stand in the gap as next of kin to those accident victims by providing in the short run a sum of 20,000 naira to ensure that the victims are stabilized. And that way, we have recorded over 80% success rate because the victims have received succor. It could be blood transfusion, it could be oxygen, it could be drip that they need at that time. But the comfort that HEI will pay 20,000 by the hospitals ensures that they open their doors and they attend, and that's also why we documented it. We have to get a MOU signed. So that's what none should die is.
We realize in Nigeria, some time past, I believe we are growing gradually now. When accidents occur or the scene of accidents, you see individual or pass by, they snap and they instantly upload on Facebook to update their status. But what HEI is trying to do, instead of updating your status with victims on the road or accident victims, why don't you call like Sambos or FRX with their emergency number? We have the Lagos to the 767, the 112 and the 121 for FRXC. You can easily call them up that such an incident has happened. And with the kind of partnership we are building with government parastatals like the Nigeria Police, the LASMA and Federal Road Safety, as a passerby, you can easily pick a accident victim to the hospital, any of the government hospital. You don't need to know anybody there. No, in government hospital, they will ask you who will stand as the next of kin, who will pay for the drugs. HEI, we are known as the next of kin for all beneficiaries. So just take a patient or the accident victim to any of the government hospital and say, okay, I'm a stranger and I don't know this person, but I have no much details about him. But I believe your partnership with HEI or Health Emergency Initiative can really cover these expenses, because we have sent MOUs to government hospitals, to the MDs and the social worker. So once you mention Health Emergency Initiative in any government hospitals, mostly through the social worker, you will be accommodated on. So our mission is just to save life and ensure that indigent patients have access to good quality healthcare facility.
Other beneficiaries who have also been in the HEI ecosystem includes those in prison. We may not think that most of us think that there is a very perfect system that suits their needs medically, but they have clinics that most times require certain resources, certain consumables to function, operate effectively. So, for instance, we got Green Life Pharmaceutical to provide drugs worth about 700,000 naira for Kirikiri prison. But in addition, some of the inmates get ill with some of these common diseases, and the clinics don't have capacity to handle it. So from Jeremy General Hospital and other hospitals, we take care of them. They are also Nigerians. Some of them are even over 60% are waiting trials. So that's also to give them a voice.
Orúkọ mi ni Modina Ogumade. Ara ọmọ mi ò yá, Ìsíkẹ̀ Ṣẹ́gun. Ní last year, December, ibà mú. Àwa gbé lọ sí General Hospital Mba. Nígbà tá débẹ̀ kó tó di pa lọ bẹ̀. Àti kọ́kọ́ treat ẹ̀ lé so kò lọ wá pé ká gbé lọ sí hospital. Àwa gbé lọ sí hospital mọ́tò àdé hospital. Ikú ẹ̀ wá ń ga. So àwọn nǹkan tó ṣe nígbà tá débẹ̀ doctor ní pé a máa ṣe operation. So kò dẹ̀ sówó lọ́wọ́ wa. Nígbà tó fún wa ní date, wọ́n ní kí n lọ lé kí n run out tí bá rí owó. Mo lọ lé mi ò rí ẹni tí ó máa fún mi ní owó. So mo wá padà wá. Mo ní pé ààrẹ ni tó máa fún wa lówó. Doctor wa ní pé ó dáa. Bí ìbálá máa ti ṣe Christmas, wọ́n pe hospital, wọ́n pe tèkó, wọ́n ní kò sáyè, wọ́n pe Mercy, wọ́n ní kò sáyè. Doctor wa ní nǹkan tó máa ṣe fún wa nísìnyí ni pé nígbà tí a ti rówó, òun kàn máa fún wa ní oògùn kan, so á jẹ́ kí ó lè dúró kó fi di ẹ̀yìn ọdún. That is 24, 25, 26, 27. Mo wá lọlé. Mo lọ tóró náwọn àbúrò nílé. Àwọn náà máa lọ sí school. So mo wá lọlé. Mo wá lọ wẹ̀ fún wọn. Nígbà tí màá wẹ̀ fún ọmọ mi obìnrin, mo náà ọmọbìnrin kan sí. Tèmi bá ti lọ, wọ́n á dúró tì. So ọmọ mi obìnrin yẹn ló wá pè mí lórí sẹ́ẹ̀tì pé wọ́n pè mí pé èèyàn kan ti fún wa ní owó tá fi máa ṣe operation, pé àwọn doctor ti pè mí pé kí n máa bọ̀ nísinsìnyí pé kí wá bá wọn ní ibẹ̀. Nígbà tí mo wá débẹ̀ mo wá ní àwọn olófún wa lọ́wọ́, ní àwọn HEI wọ́n láwọn ló fún wa lówó. Wọ́n ti rògùn, wọ́n ti ra drip, wọ́n ti ra gbogbo ẹ̀ sínú báskẹ̀tì tí wọ́n fún wa níbẹ̀. So ara ọmọ náà ti gbádùn nísìn, ọmọ náà rẹ̀ Ìsíkẹ̀ Ṣẹ́gun. Ara ẹ̀ ti wà okay nísìn. Ẹ bá dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn. Wọ́n ṣe o, ọwọ́ wọn á máa ròkè, kò ní tán bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Ilé iṣẹ́ wọn ní jóná.
Sọ orúkọ ẹ̀.
Wọ́n á dárúkọ ẹ̀, orúkọ ẹ̀ ní Ìsíkẹ̀ Ṣẹ́gun. Ìyá tí mo pín wọ́n rẹ́kọ̀dù kìíní. A lọ bí oṣù méjì sí mẹ́ta. Torí bẹ́ẹ̀ mo ti ṣe Christmas, bẹ́ẹ̀ mo ti ṣe New Year. Nígbà tí a máa fi wálé February la wálé. Láti December 23. So a wálé ní February 5 àbí February 6 ya. Ọkọ mi ti kú. Mo tajà ni. Mo kiri ni omi ò níbi kankan. Mo ta àwọn iṣẹ́ sí ma.
Project 1 million. I think the best way to actually introduce Project 1 million of Health Emergency Initiative is, as I have been, since this conversation started, we have done over, this is episode, you must have seen in our records, in some of our publications, that we have supported, assisted, and by God's grace, saved the lives of over 500 people. You'll be wondering, how are you able to do this in the last 4 years consistently? We are familiar that when there is during festive period, people go to the hospital to visit once a year, twice a year. But this is the only organization that consistently stands in the gap for the poor and for vulnerable people. So, one, If you're listening to us, you could be coming back from a nightclub, you could be driving peacefully and a car somersaults. I have seen a case where someone was driving, taking a child to school, and the car somersaulted from the opposite direction and ran into the lane. There was a barricade, and the only son died in that episode. The mother was so injured that she was flown to South Africa, and she has never been the same again. So don't be indifferent when you see an organization like HEI reaching out to you. So what does Project 1 Million means? Project 1 Million means that HEI is speaking and reaching out to Nigerians and people outside Nigeria, Nigerians in diaspora, and any corner of the earth, that we should have at least 1 million people contributing minimum of 500, 1,000 naira, 5,000 naira in a year. If you do 5,000 naira in a year, that means that HEI will have capacity to ensure this spreads across all the length and breadth of Nigeria. That will ensure that when more accident cases happen, that HEI can respond. Indigent cases are brought. We will even put in place more proactive steps to ensure that more lives are saved. Do we really value life? If you value life, you must be very eager to be part of Project 1 Million. And we have simplified the process, because you will be wondering, in this number of years, how many people are making this possible? Maybe we are getting grant from government. No, this is coming from kind-hearted Nigerians, including a widow who has in the last 30 months contribute 2,500 every month. But there is now that more people are getting involved, more cases are happening, and they are being referred to HEI. All hands need to be on deck, and we are complementing the government. We are not in any way competing. We are not in any way. Government is doing so much, but even in advanced countries, there is a limit to what the government can do. So we have put in motion many things, that a lot of programs, initiatives that will make it possible for, even if you're frying akara by the roadside, even if you're a vulcanizer, even if you're a conductor, even if you are an agent of a bank, you can transfer to HEI account. We also have USSD code that makes it possible that even if you don't have a smartphone, you can use your normal phone to make transfer at no charge to you. So it is a call to action. HEI has also put in place corporate governance. We have board of trustees. There's a chairman. The chairman board of trustees became a medical doctor in 1976. So we have, and trained in the UK as a gynecologist. So we have corporate governance that ensures strong accounting and auditing processes.
I am Dr. Ndion Wekusi, the chairman of Health Emergency Initiative. I have a background in obstetrics and gynecology. It is a big pleasure to talk about Health Emergency Initiative today. The NGO was established to serve the need of underprivileged people who cannot look after themselves. And it has a byline of that none should die. So HEI is that none should die who can be cured, but for lack of money. That is the key statement about HEI. It therefore covers a wide range of activities, but let us start by saying that HEI is an organization that aims to provide health care for people who cannot afford it, since in Nigeria there are very few opportunities for such people to get care and remain alive. For just as little as 2,000 naira, HEI has saved lives. And so it is important to recognize that we can do something beyond what government is providing for the low segment of society. Health care provision is a major responsibility of government. However, the society also can support government to do this. In a country like Nigeria, where government does not provide health care for people, the society has a responsibility, because society is about the community. It is about the people who live in the society. Society has a responsibility to make adjustments and then provide for the most underprivileged people in that community. And so HEI was set up with this major vision to provide healthcare for those who would otherwise die for as low as 1,000 and as low as 20,000 naira. Therefore, HEI, since inception, has intervened and saved lives of more than 300 people who would otherwise have died. And every day, HEI is expanding in its reach and touching lives. It is important to also emphasize that all Nigerians can become members of HEI. For 500 naira a month, HEI will enroll you and you will become a major lifesaver in Nigeria and be able to contribute to this wonderful work that HEI does. It is remarkable that HEI has saved lives of young children for as little as 3,500 naira for the child who had tetanus, and for the child who survived from burns that killed his siblings, three of his siblings, HEI also intervened and saved his life. It is also important at this juncture I will keep emphasizing this throughout this opportunity to talk to you, the people of Nigeria, that all of us can join HEI just for 500 naira a month. HEI has also, in its short time of activity, expanded beyond regular or emergency illnesses to develop also contact with hospitals, specialist hospitals, to deliver services to accident victims. And this service is also a major lifesaver. At the point of incidents, there may be nobody to stand in the gap. HEI stands in the gap of people who are victims of road traffic accidents or any other type of accident, and they will go to hospitals, associated hospitals, and they will get emergency care without payment or without their relations being around, because most of the time relations are not around at the time that you have an accident. So that is another important aspect of the work of HEI. Most importantly, it's the general public becoming part of HEI, because sustainability is based on the volume of participants, of membership. And therefore, my duty as chairman really is more to call on all Nigerians to learn about HEI, change their views about the helplessness in Nigerian society by becoming more active in trying to find ways of helping ourselves while waiting on government to do the best it can. This is not an opportunity to criticize government. This is an opportunity to mobilize Nigerians for HEI so that we can save lives. These lives we save could be the people who would contribute tremendously in special ways in building a great country of Nigeria that will be the future country of joy and hope and wealth and influence in the world. You know, many countries that are great today were very poor and were very disorganized before, and like, I don't want to cite their names, but they're all there, well recorded in history. Indeed, every country that is big today has had difficult times before. And so I will conclude by saying that all Nigerians should target to, within the next 1 year, to become members of HEI. HEI operates a very high quality level of management, and there is due diligence in everything that HEI does. HEI accounts are audited regularly, and the management of HEI is of the highest international order. And international organizations are beginning to notice HEI also and are supporting HEI. And it is important that we as Nigerians should also wake up to the need to be our brothers and sisters keepers. And this is my call as chairman for every Nigerian to join HEI. Join HEI, HEI that none should die. Join HEI that people can be saved for just 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira. I thank you.
So each of us, even if you have not been part of HEI, you can go to our website, you'll see our audited accounts in the last 3 years, and you can also ask questions about the funds you donated. How has HEI used it? That also gave an organization like Pricewaterhouse comfort to give HEI 1 million naira 2 years ago after doing due diligence on HEI. So if you're a corporate organization listening to this, it's a time for you to respond, because HEI has also gone further to secure a certification from Federal Inland Revenue Service. We have their approval granting HEI tax exemption certificate or status. So those are processes and systems HEI have put in place to ensure that these projects and programs are sustainable. And I am talking to someone this hour. Because you've been looking for a credible organization to partner with before now HEI is available to work with you in impacting our society and changing the narrative of our nation. Thank you.